President, please be seated. The court is now back in session. Judge Laverne, you may continue with your questioning of this witness. You may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. Witness, I would like to revisit the issue of the 250 extra youth who came to work at B3. And you told us that they all came from the same place, from Memut district. And I'd like to know, were these people who were Cham or were these Khmer?
Answer. The 250 youths coming from Memut, they were all Khmer.
And you also told us that if they had been sent to B3, it was because it was deemed that they had sympathy towards the Vietnamese. Do you confirm this?
Answer. What I knew was that they were living close to the Cambodian-Vietnamese border. I did not know the actual reason for them being sent to the center, to the area, and the much reason.
Well, in your statement, which is indexed D125/184 or E3/368, you said these people, Tamong, were accused of being affiliated with the Vietnamese. Does this remind you of anything?
Answer. I only knew that they were living close to the Cambodian-Vietnamese border, but I was not sure if they had any real connection with or affiliation with the Vietnamese. I presume they must have some sort of affiliation with the Vietnamese for the reasons they were sent there.
Were you informed by the district of the arrival of these youths? Was this discussed during a meeting?
Answer. When the 250 youth arrived, the district also gave information upon their arrival. The information was that 250 additional forces were added to the existing forces, and they were from the Tamung commune in Memut district, which was closed through the Vietnamese border.
And this is a district that did not depend upon Sector 505, is that correct? But at the district level, were you told that requests had been addressed to the higher authorities to transfer this population?
Answer. I did not grasp hold of their situation. I was at the website, and when they arrived, I was told that an additional 250 persons were brought in.
And did these 250 people disappear suddenly? What happened to them?
Answer. They stayed at my work site for a little bit more than 2 months. Then they were moved out, and I heard that they were sent to Kampong Thom. That's all I knew. They were moved to Kampong Thom, and until now I still do not know if any of them survives.
Well, maybe I didn't pay enough attention earlier on when you... So I would like you to tell me clearly where B3 was located.
Answer. B3 was located if we go there currently from Sandan. It was on road 7, but there is a new road built which would go directly to Steng Trai. That is the old road to Steng Trai from Sandan commune. Sandan commune is 24 kilometers from the Karachi provincial town, and on the old road to Steng Trai, for about 15 kilometers, there is an unpaved road leading off the national road, and about 2 kilometers we would reach Old Kokut, and that's where B3 was located. It was also known as Srai Rong or B3, and the Srai Rong was also split into two. One was for a residential area for the people, and one was the work site. The upper one was for the work site, and the lower part was where people farmed the field.
So was B3 located close to a village called Kepot, which is located in Sambok commune, Karachi district, Karachi province?
Answer. B3 location was near Srai Rong village. No villagers stayed there. It was a rice field. Currently, B3, in terms of its location, then is partly in Karachi district and partly in Sambo district. So it was split half-half within these two districts.
I would like to revisit the arrival of the new people. You told us that when you took charge of Sambor or cooperative or commune, you saw more than 100 families, 117 April families. Well, 100 families, that represents how many people?
Answer. The new people who were evacuated from Phnom Penh to Sambo district, there were about 100 families of them, but I could not know exactly the number of people. I could not know the actual number.
Were there any ethnic minorities in Sambor commune?
Answer. In Sambo commune, there was no ethnic minority. They were all Khmer. However, in Sambo district, there were mainly minority groups.
So I would like to present to the witness a document D125/8. And this is a witness interview. And for reasons of confidentiality, we're not going to reveal the name of this witness. But however, Mr. Jung Kim and his counsel can have access to this information. So I believe that, therefore, we can give document D125/8 to Mr. Jung Kim and to his counsel.
The President, yes, you may do so. Court officer, could you deliver that document to the witness and his duty counsel for examination? The duty counsel, please just read the name only of the person on the record in order to confirm that that is the person, and of course his identity cannot be revealed. Do not speak out the name of the person on this written record of witness interview. That is in pursuant to the protective measure for witness.
So for the requirements,
the President, Defense Counsel, you may speak.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, everyone. Your Honor, I have a request for clarification. Is this witness, the name of the witness on the statement that's just been presented to the current witness, is that witness scheduled for testimony? Because as I understand the rule in this chamber, witnesses can only be presented with witness statements of witnesses who are not coming to testify. You'll correct me if I'm wrong.
Judge Lavange, could you please respond to the query by the Defense Counsel for Nunchi?
well, I'm afraid that I have to do a bit of research about this because I'm not sure that this witness is on the list of witnesses who will appear before the court. I don't think so. So we have to verify this, and I see that the prosecutor here might have some information.
The President, the prosecution, you may proceed.
Yes, Your Honors. This witness is not among the witnesses who have been selected to testify, and I do not believe this witness was even proposed by us as a trial witness. So I can confirm that information for you.
That suits our purposes. Thank you.
Yeah. Very well. Well, for the record, I'm going to give you the ERN references. So in Khmer, 00194474 to 00194480. French, 00272304 00272310. In English, 00272297 to 00272303. So this is a witness who claims that he was part of a unit of militiamen, and he says that in 1976 he was placed in a cooperative located in the village of Kreng Pasak, and he described the working conditions in this cooperative. And he states the following. It's on page 3 of the French version. Between June and July 1976, they pulled me out to go to work in the cooperative here in the village of Kreng Prasad. They had us work day and night, working the rice fields, farming, doing everything, minding cattle and buffaloes, growing vegetables. There was no free time. In those days, there were not yet any machines to mill rice. They used manpower, from 20 to 30 persons a day to thresh rice. The food was insufficient. We ate communally. Sometimes there was rice for one meal or gruel for one meal. That's all. In late 1976 and early 1977, the new people came into every cooperative, and the new people from various places became the majority. Some were new people who had been sent to Sector 505 from the east, from Kampong Cham. When the 17 April people arrived, they did not say anything. Some died from hunger. People from the east died from not having had enough to eat previously, and some died due to lack of medicines. And he explains a bit further what are the different sanctions imposed upon people who broke the rules. And he says that later on he was removed and that he was relocated to Vatanak Cooperative in Vatanak village for 1 year, and he did not know the head of this cooperative. However, he says further, I only remember Takam, who was the head of Kreng Prasad village cooperative. His home village was in Osknol. Today he lives in the village of Vatanak commune, Sambo district, Kratche province. So, witness, can you, what I have read out to you now, does it seem to correspond to what actually happened, or is this something different from what you actually experienced? And according to you, who may be Tak Khan, who was the head of the Kreng Prasad cooperative?
Answer. Allow me to explain to you. This statement of the witness is not that accurate. The names mentioned in this written record of interview were, in fact, he was from the district security, but later on he was appointed as the cooperative chief of Srai Khun, and later he was transferred to become the commune chief of Watanak. And later on he had been arrested, but luckily he survived. That statement again is not clear and accurate. So I cannot accept this statement, chiefly at the Kreng Prasad or Srai Khun cooperative, because I myself supervise that cooperative.
So, to complete what is in this statement, I would like to let you know that the witness said that he had been arrested later on, and that he had been led to Kokduik, and that the head of Kokduik Security Center was called Tan Sarun back then, and he had succeeded a so-named Bon. Do you have any comments to make about this?
Answer. Regarding the supervisor Kokudut, although I was at the Srakun cooperative in Kangkasa village near Kokudut, I did not know for sure who was the supervisor. I only knew that the Sarun was in charge at that work site, but I did not know who the chief was, and I did not know about their predecessors. The person, Mr. Im, probably knows more than me regarding who was the chief of the site, as his house was rather close to that location.
Did you ever hear about a place called Commune 100? Commune 100. In which a priori was a commune where they would clear the forest by sending maybe London soldiers to do the work, or former officials from the former regime.
Answer. I did not know about the 100 commune. I heard of the name, but I do not know where it is located. I myself do not want to know about other people's business, so that is my nature.
And what happened in Commune 100?
Answer. As I stated, I do not know where that commune is located, so I did not know what happened in that commune then.
Is it? And where was this commune located?
As I just stated, I am not sure whether it was in Karachi or Snur district.
No. So now a few questions regarding the Cham. Did you ever hear about a movement, a widespread movement of the Cham? According to you, well, first of all, did you note the presence of Cham in your cooperative? And were these Cham part of a larger group?
Answer. I saw the Cham people evacuated to Watana commune while I was the chief there. However, they were not classified differently from other people. They were all members of the cooperative working together with the rest. As for other locations or provinces, in terms of the evacuation of the Cham people, I had no knowledge of it.
Alors, je voudrais...
I wish to put before this witness and his duty counsel an additional document. It is D 166/179. Here again, I do not believe that it is necessary to disclose the name of the witness who is cited in this particular document. Nevertheless, this material can be submitted to Mr. Yunkin and his duty counsel. Mr. President, with your leave, shall we proceed in that manner?
The President, you may proceed, Judge Logan, and court officer is now instructed to hand over the document to the witness and his duty counsel. The President, Judge Lavan, could you please identify the document you wish to be put for examination again? Because court officer indicates that he has not received the identification of the document very well yet.
Alors,
The document reference number is D166/179. The Khmer ERN numbers are 00 3495 11 200 34 95 20. The French ERN numbers are 00 40 70 22 up until French ERN page 0040 70 30. And the English ERN pages are 0035 34 91 to 0035 34 99. This concerns a witness who stated that prior to the 17th, or rather prior to 1975, he resided in Praktok village in the Tonle-Pet commune in the Tangkon district in the province of Kampong Cham. He states that there were about 100 residents in his village, and after 1975 he and his family.
The President, counsel, witness, please hold on before we proceed to counsel. Counsel, you now proceed.
I apologize, Judge Levin, for interrupting again, but I do have the same inquiry. I think it's important that the rules are applied consistently in the chamber. Is this witness on the list? Is this witness coming to testify? Perhaps the prosecution can assist.
Mr. President and members of the bench, no, he's not. But I would also remind the chamber and counsel at this point that the other week, the International Council for Noon Chea requested to question one of the witnesses on a statement of someone who was appearing. That was allowed with the condition that the identity of the witness not be revealed. That's how this practice of not identifying witnesses' names in statements started. It started from the defense wanting to do it, which was allowed. So I'm not sure for the reason for these objections, but I can tell you that this is not a witness who is on the witness list.
If I could just clarify, it's not an objection. It was most certainly not an objection. It was a request for clarification of the procedure, which I think, as we all are quite aware now, changes quite often on a weekly basis in this chamber. So at one point, the ruling was you were not permitted to put witness statements to witnesses if those witnesses were coming to testify. My colleague asked for leave last week. He was granted that leave on an exceptional basis. It was never made clear. The rationale, of course, for this ruling, holding, rule, whatever it is, has never been made clear. So I'm just trying to get some clarity. That's all I'm asking for. I'm not objecting.
The President, counsel for Mr. Youngsari, you may now proceed. Counsel Adam. Thank you, Mr. President and Your Honors. I have no objection to this, but I have a question. Judge of the bench is not supposed to bring the exculpatory or inculpatory evidence when parties are supposed to present or to bring in witnesses who are inculpatory and exculpatory, depending on each respective party. However, it is better that parties are allowed to review the witness statement and to see, apart from the proposed witnesses by the prosecutors, whether they also proposed by other parties to the proceeding. The President, thank you, Counsel, but parties are reminded to be very careful with all the documents to be put for examination, either doing this directly or by any other means that are manageable. It doesn't mean that they have to wait until the chamber to put the question, because we need to ensure that the conduct of the proceedings are expeditious and highly effective. The chamber keeps reminding the parties time and again concerning the very strict measure to manage these proceedings, and it is the right of the parties if the parties feel that they have an objection to any particular point, then they need to come up with the basis for the ground for the objections and in brief, so that the chamber can rule upon it immediately. Counsel for Mr. Kyusampon, you may now proceed, but please be reminded that next time be quick to on time when the same issue is being raised, and the matter that relevant shall be raised simultaneously or in that period of time before the ruling is made, because we already reminded the party that if the matter is rendered or ruled upon, then it should not be reopened. What would you have to say?
I'll be very brief, Mr. President. I simply wanted to add that based on the logic that has just been exposed to us, I don't think it's highly unusual to advise all parties, at least on the day prior to a testimony, the documents that may be used. And it will be incumbent upon the bench to indicate what documents it intends to refer to. This would allow for smooth proceedings insofar as all parties can prepare accordingly.
The President, Judge Lawean, you may now proceed.
In response to what has just been said, may I just signal that the responsibilities and obligations that fall upon parties are not identical to those of those who comprise this bench, and the fact that such documents can be advised would be quite welcome. Now, coming back to this document, this witness had lived prior to 1975 in a village of approximately 100 residents, and they were primarily Cham. This witness indicates that his family was deported and sent to Sambo village in the commune of Sambo, in the district of Sambo, in the province of Katier. He indicates that other residents were sent elsewhere, such as Battambang and other provinces. With respect to the living conditions in Sambo, the witness indicates on page 5 of the French version as follows. When we arrived in Sambo district, we were authorized to live with the former people of the village. We were told that each family was to live with a base people or former people family. A man who was in a black uniform with a red kama and rubber sandals accompanied us to our new dwelling. Further on, the witness states, we started working at 3 o'clock in the morning up until 11 a.m. before a break for a meal. We then resumed our work at 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. and then we rested to have a second meal. Then we milled the rice and worked from 6 to 9 p.m. Once again, Mr. Witness, is this statement an accurate reflection of your memory, or did things occur otherwise?
Response. With regard to the evacuation of the Muslim Khmer to Sambo, I don't know about this. In Sambo commune, there was a mixture of people living in the community, and there was no classification of people, and I could not grasp what happened like that, and I do not know that people were forced to work until 3 or 4 a.m. So I have no idea what happened to these Chams or Khmer Islam people.
Alors, en lit.
In connection to that question, and I do not have a question for the witness, I simply want to point out that in document E3/184, there is a telegram entitled Telegram 54. It is copied to Brother Nun and documentation. It is signed by Chun. There's also CC to Dun. This telegram is dated 30th of November 1975 with respect to the transfer of the Cham population. It also makes reference to some 50,000 residents and Muslims living in the eastern zone.
Voilà, je n'aurai pas d'autres questions à poser aux témoins.
I have no further questions to put to the witness at this stage, Mr. President.
The President, thank you, Judge Lerman. We have some little time before lunch adjournment. And perhaps it is not appropriate to hand over to counsels for Mr. Nun Chie now. Mr. Witness, instead I have a few questions to put to you, and because you used to be an important individual at the local level, you worked as the secretary of a commune and also the chief of the cooperative and B3 work site. My question is, did you ever received production means from your upper echelon. Production means here include tools like hoes or other production tools from the upper echelon, including spare parts. Response. Regarding the production tools, including the hoe, the plow, and shovels, these were provided to us by the district level. District level received from the sector, and these had to be made according to the request made by each respective level. After 1975, prior to 1975, there was a lack or shortage of hoes, but after 1975, it was plentiful. In B3 work site, everyone was given a hoe. There were also some shovels, and they also offered some plows. With regard to the axes, machetes, we asked blacksmiths to help us with this. We only made a request to the district to provide us with some steel, then the blacksmith can turn them into the useful tools. The President, with regard to the production means, you already indicated to us. What about the daily basic needs of clothes, fabrics, and things like this? As the chiefs of the 3 locations, had you ever received such materials, and from whom did you receive them? Response. Clothes were delivered to people, like 2 pairs or sets of clothes were given to each people. There was a sewing group who was in charge of sewing clothes for the people in the cooperatives. There was also a group of weavers who was in charge of weaving the krama or scarves for the cooperatives. However, that happened only in the previous places I worked. When we came to B3, these items had to be provided by the district committee, because we had no such people ready to produce these items on our own, and we were there for a few months, then we had to run. The President, thank you. During the last 2 days, you already indicated about your implementation of the party. My question is, did you ever receive any order or instruction from the upper echelon concerning the production of a 3 ton per hectare plan? And if so, when was this plan implemented? Response. During the Pol Pot's regime, we implemented the policy of competition by 1976, which was part of the first stage. It was part that each cooperative had to produce 3 tons of rice per hectare, and I also took part in this competition with other cooperatives. However, with regard to this competition, we had to be able to produce fertilizer made from cow dung and of course natural fertilizer made of compost. And in that year, in the whole districts of Croches, my commune won the first place. But we couldn't produce 3 tons per hectare, although we managed to produce 126 buckets of rice, but I reported to the district that we only produced 113 buckets, and then let alone the 3 tons of rice. By doing so, I knew I gained something by managing some rice to make people eat rice rather than porridge. Question: did you ever receive any instruction or order from the upper echelon to transport the rice production to other location or to the upper echelon? I'm talking about the rice production only, and you said that you were asked to produce 3 tons of rice per hectare, and you said you already able to do that. So by that, was you ever asked by the upper echelon to transfer the rice to feed other location or to the upper echelon? Response: in Watana Cooperative, I already indicated to your honors the result of the rice production was very promising, was good. However, the rice was not transferred to any other location, and I had to be removed to or transferred to Sombo commune. In Sombo commune, rice was not transferred or sent to any other location. But I remember that on one occasion it was asked that rice had to be measured. 2 people from the economic section were assigned along with another person from the security, and I told them that you did not need to measure the rice. You just take my report, then details would be seen in the report already, and they agreed. So no measure to transfer the rice we harvested to any other location. So we could manage very well to avoid any problem of food shortages. After leaving Watana commune, I learned at the later date that people went down to this commune to transfer the rice the people produced in the commune. The President: thank you. We would like to obtain this information. We have already received some information, but we need to seek clarification. And you said that when you worked as the secretary of the commune or the chief of the cooperative or chief of B3 work site, you always cited that you allowed people to eat rice. In particular, those people who worked under your supervision. In other locations, people ate porridge or gruel. So may I seek a clarification whether it is your knowledge that the people in the neighboring work sites or cooperatives worked harder or more but ate less or ate porridge? Because if there was a natural disaster, every cooperative would be hit. And why the other cooperatives in the neighborhood had food shortages while your cooperative had plenty of food? Response. With regard to food, indeed there was food shortages in some places. I can give you an example that in when I was in Watana commune, the Choroi Bantiai village had big problem with food. There was a food shortage, and I noted the problem. I also offered them some potatoes or banana we grew at the foot of the hill. We shared these with them. We don't know why it was hard or difficult for them to have enough food, although we had the same condition of land. In Sambo district, there was no problem with food, because if they ate porridge, then the porridge would be decent anyway. The President, you just said that people were asked to measure the rice stock in the warehouses in each cooperative or commune, and you also try to conceal the exact data of the rice so that you can allow people to eat rice. Can you tell the court if it happened in other places where rice would be removed from the cooperative? But what happened? Why? Response. As I indicated, in Watana, in 1976, we produced more than 3 hectares of rice 3 tons of rice per hectare. And in each village, there was a rice warehouse. But great portion of rice had to be taken away. I just don't know where they would be taken to. It would be taken to. The only thing I know is that at Watana commune, almost the great majority of the rice was removed, and people were subject to eat porridge. The President, thank you. You also mentioned about the members of the district who were in charge of commerce. What kind of commerce were you referring to? Could you describe it? The activities of commerce in the Democratic Cambodia in particular. Response. During the Democratic Cambodia regime, before 1975, when the money was still circulated, there was commerce section for each district. The goods or commodities were transported from the district by the commune to distribute to people. These include salt, medicine, and other basic needs items. And at the district level, the thing also happened. In 1974, the private market was almost ground to a halt, and the money was no longer properly circulated. The people did not use the money, although money would be used by the commerce sections. Question: did you ever receive any information from any source? Because you already indicated that you know a lot of people who worked at Sector 505. Did you receive any information concerning the transport of rice or export of rice to a foreign country? Response: I don't know about this. I only know what happened in my capacity as the commune chief. For example, in my location, when rice was taken from Watana commune. The President: thank you very much. It is now appropriate time for lunch adjournment. The court will adjourn until 1:30. Court officer is now instructed to assist the witness and his duty counsel during the lunch adjournment and have them return to the courtroom when we resume the next session after the break. Security personnel are now instructed to bring Mr. Nunchi and Kyu Sampon to their holding cells and have them return to the courtroom before 1:30. The court is adjourned.
សូមក្រងជំនុំ